Today's final touch, a thankful little girl as we head towards Thanksgiving.
And it's all because of Halloween. A group of neighbors in Tennessee worked together to pull off a Halloween do-over. It was for 2-year-old McKinley Vispen. She's been born with a rare kidney disorder and missed out on trick-or-treating because she was sick. So when her parents reached out to neighbors online, they got an overwhelming response. Nearly 24 houses hosted Halloween all over again, just for little McKinley.
Oh, I love that.
Some great neighbors.
Oh, that's very sweet.
So you're off for the rest of the week?
That's right.
Thanksgiving?
I'm driving tonight. I'm a little worried about the weather, so I hope everyone out there gets to their destination safely. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, Sun Prairie students are protesting after a fellow student wore blackface to a high school basketball game. We'll tell you what they're saying.
Why a piece of real estate in Janesville, once thought to be contaminated, might be closer to development than originally thought.
And a Packers legend is a semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You can help him get to Canton, Ohio.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
All right, traveling for the holiday in the next several days could be a mess, especially in central and northern Wisconsin. Live look right now from our sky cam on the west side where rain has made its way into southern Wisconsin.
Really, no matter what direction you're going, you could potentially run into some weather. Gary is here with a check on the forecast. Gary?
Yeah, that's the issue. You know, we're talking about heavy snow north of here, but wind will be the big problem south of here, and that could be just as much of an impact, especially on air travel. Winter storm warnings are in effect from northwestern Iowa through southern and eastern Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin, including the Twin Cities, Eau Claire, Wausau, Rhinelander, and up into Marquette, Michigan, where heavy lake effect snows will occur. And this is a storm that's come out of the Denver area that's been paralyzing air traffic there. You can see 6 inches or more, maybe up to a foot of snow up toward Lake Superior, but the amounts will taper off pretty quickly to the south, so areas north of the Dells might only get an inch or two across our area. Most areas will start out or may rain for much of it, maybe mixed with a little snow before ending. But there's a wind advisory for wind gusts of 40 miles per hour or stronger across southern Wisconsin from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow. High wind warnings for wind gusts to 50 to 60 miles per hour across northern Illinois, and you can see those wind gusts by noon tomorrow in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range and still remaining strong through the overnight hours. Notice the rain moving in from the south, and that will continue through the overnight hours along with the possibility for a few thunderstorms. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes a second storm system and an impact on us toward the end of the holiday weekend.
All right, Gary, thank you. Stay up to date on your Thanksgiving travel plans with our weather app. It features hourly forecasts, radar, and first alert traffic to keep you safe during your holiday travels. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Our morning show crew is helping you get to your destination safely as well. Leah, Josh, Hattie, and Chris will keep you up to date on road conditions ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Their coverage starts tomorrow morning, bright and early at 4:30 a.m.
Next at 5, about 100 Sun Prairie students walked out of class today and marched to the school district administration building.
They're protesting after a fellow student wore blackface to a high school basketball game this weekend. Our Amanda Quintana was there, and she has more on what they're asking for. Amanda?
Students say teachers and staff just aren't doing enough to stop racism in their schools or educate students on important pieces of the history of racism. So students from Sun Prairie High School, Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School, and Prairie Phoenix Academy all met up to rally to the school district building. Staff quickly shuttled them inside, and media wasn't allowed on the property. Students say while inside, the district vowed to do more, but students aren't sure that will happen. They say the boy who wore blackface claims he didn't know what it meant, and that is an issue the school needs to address.
The child said he did not know anything about blackface, so we walked to the district to let people know, like, black history should be taught in schools instead of just slavery, because that's not all that happened to black people.
The district refused to comment on the walkout or their plans to change anything. Students tell me the boy who wore blackface has been suspended for 2 days, but they believe that he deserved more of a punishment.
Amanda, thank you.
A Monroe man pleaded guilty to 3 counts Monday for sexually exploiting a 16-year-old girl. Court records show 37-year-old Justin Stocker pleaded guilty to exposing himself to a child having sexual intercourse with a child and causing a child to view sexual activity. The criminal complaint said Stocker met a girl while he was working at Sugar River Raceway in Broadhead. Stocker told officials he thought she was older because she drove a car, but he also said that he heard her talk about being in high school. A sentencing hearing for Stocker will be held in January.
Janesville police are searching for a man who approached several female employees at the Walmart Supercenter and tried kissing them without warning. Police say it happened on Thursday. The man approached several female employees, offered them money, and then asked a 17-year-old employee if she was a virgin before inappropriately touching her. In a press release, it says he attempted to kiss each woman. Police say he left the area in a black truck.
A prime piece of real estate in Janesville is one step closer to being on the market.
The riverfront property was once thought to be contaminated. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us with what environmental experts are saying. Adam?
Yeah, Susan and Eric, just this past May, a potential development was actually pulled from this Rock River property site because of fears that the ground was contaminated. But now the city of Janesville is hopeful that someone else could call this property home soon.
There's certainly opportunities for multiple development sites.
To you or me, it's just a field. But to an economic development director like Gail Price, it's an opportunity.
This is an important site for redevelopment that it's going to have a lot of spin-off effect in a beneficial way for downtown.
This prime riverfront property was previously set for development until concerns about what's below the ground changed those plans.
We were worried about was things like PCBs, PFAS, the stuff that takes an incredible amount of investment to clean up.
The city of Janesville has been working with the Wisconsin DNR to complete comprehensive soil testing, which the experts say is looking good.
You know, I would say as sites go, there's impacts out there, but nothing too different from impacts that we find at most urban sites.
This means the site is ripe for development once again. And with such a close proximity to what's already happening in downtown Janesville,
we've got the Milwaukee Street Bridge still under construction. And
Price says he's hopeful housing, namely multi-level apartment living, could be next for the area. Something he says could continue to grow the city.
The more residents that we have in this space and in our downtown, that's going to attract other retail, other restaurants, other business activity, increased sales, all of those things that make a vibrant downtown.
Now, Price says he's hopeful that someone who wants to develop this property could do so over the course of just the next few months. He does say there is still a little bit of testing that would have to happen before that can happen, but he says he and other city leaders were really relieved when they found out that that contamination wasn't more serious.
Adam Duxter live in Janesville. Adam, thank you.
A truck carrying manure tipped over near Sauk City this morning. The Dane County Sheriff's Department responded to this single vehicle crash. No injuries reported. Part of the road was closed while officials worked to clean up the scene. Wisconsin wildlife officials say preliminary data shows hunters killed dramatically fewer deer during the opening weekend of the state's traditional 9-day gun season than in 2018. The DNR says hunters killed 90,286 deer on Saturday and Sunday. That's down nearly 27% from last year. Wisconsin wildlife officials are blaming the lateness of the season for a dramatically reduced harvest.
Dane County is set to add some new tools to its arsenal to clear winter roads in the coming year. They're called tow plows, already used in a few parts of the state. They basically allow plow trucks to clear 2 lanes at once. We got a demonstration today by Brown County plow drivers who already use them.
As Dane County continues to grow and we get more lane miles, it's nice to have things that can do the job more efficiently and help them get done quicker, make the road safer for you, and help them get home safe.
They'll make their debut next winter in Dane County with most of their work on the Beltline and the interstate. County Executive Joe Parisi says they tend to be safer, too, because fewer drivers try to pass them. Parisi included $2 million in the 2020 budget to pay for the tow plows and heavy-duty quad-axle trucks to mount them. As the holiday shopping season picks up with Black Friday this week, we have a warning for people who are staying in bed in favor of waiting for Cyber Monday.
Well, the online shopping day is a big opportunity for hackers to steal your personal information. Leah Linscheid has more.
Hearing about hackers over the holiday shopping season isn't new, but local law enforcement wants to highlight the issue as a reminder of what can happen when your personal information is stolen. The Madison Police Department is teaming up with state officials and the IRS to kick off National Tax Security Awareness Week, starting this coming Monday. It takes place between the holiday shopping season and the upcoming tax filing season. So the idea is to remind folks to secure their sensitive financial data. All week long, they'll be sharing advice on how to protect yourself against identity theft. We're also giving you a chance to protect yourself Monday with a special call for action evening call-in. Our volunteers will be coming in after hours as you get home from work this coming Monday to take all of your consumer-related questions. Give us a call at that number right there on your screen. That's 608-270-2833, Monday night from 5 until 7 p.m.
The creator of the Lambeau Leap has been named one of 25 semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2020. Leroy Butler spent all 12 seasons with the green and gold. The safety out of Florida State played 12 seasons there. Butler, the first defensive back in NFL history to record 20 sacks and 20 interceptions in his career. He was named first-team All-Pro 4 times and was selected to the Pro Bowl 4 times and inducted to the Packers Hall of Fame in 2007. Butler took to Twitter to express his gratitude for being on the ballot, saying, quote, "I'm honored to be named a semifinalist and to have played my entire career for the best fans in the world. You can vote for Leroy Butler at ProFootballHof.com. Deforest football coach Mike Minich is the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association Packers Coach of the Year. Last week, Minich coached the Norskies to a D3 state title. They scored a touchdown in the final minute, and then Coach Minich went for the two-point conversion, and they won the game. Deforest capturing its first state championship since 1982. And after that game, Minich announced that after 20 years as head football coach at Deforest, he would be stepping down. A great cap to a great season.
Go out on top, yeah.
More to come on News 3 Now at 5 up next. A federal judge rules several former members of the Trump administration may have to testify before Congress in the impeachment inquiry.
And coming up tonight at 6, we share expert advice about how to diffuse some awkward situations at the Thanksgiving dinner table, ways you can avoid politics this year.
And on Wall Street, the Dow up 55 points. The NASDAQ jumps more than 15. The S&P added almost 7. And we'll be right back.
The House Judiciary Committee is set to take over the impeachment inquiry of President Trump next week, scheduling a hearing on December 4th. President Trump is fighting back against a judge's ruling which could compel his staffers to testify in congressional investigations. Former White House counsel Don McGahn refused to comply with a congressional subpoena to testify before Congress, but Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote the contention that a president's top advisors cannot be subjected to compulsory congressional process simply has no basis in the law.
I was with the president when he was briefed on the decision coming down, actually, and nobody was surprised. It is not unexpected, but it may be unsustainable, and we'll see where it goes.
Democrats on Capitol Hill declared the judge's ruling a victory, but the White House filed an appeal of the decision this morning. The president tweeted he would love to have Mike Pompeo, Rick Perry, Mick Mulvaney, and others testify about the phony impeachment hoax, but future presidents should in no way be compromised. What has happened to me should never happen to another president.
At least 20 people are dead after an earthquake in Albania. The government there has declared Wednesday a day of national mourning for the country's earthquake victims. The government says flags will be flown at half-staff in memory of the dead from the 6.4 magnitude quake, and schools will also be closed.
A dangerous wildfire northwest of Los Angeles is forcing the evacuation of thousands of residents. Residents from more than 2,400 homes are under a mandatory evacuation order. The Cave Fire broke out Monday afternoon in the Los Padres National Forest. That's about 90 miles northwest of LA. 600 firefighters are attacking the fire from the ground and the air. Strong winds helped the fire explode overnight, charring thousands of acres of land in just a matter of hours.
It's been quite the firefight. We've had winds moving upslope, downslope, across the slope. We've had firefighters engaging in structured defense, being pushed out and run out, and then turning around, come back, and getting right back on those structures.
But relief may be coming. Heavy rains are hitting California over the next few days, and that will hopefully end the fire season.
In Colorado, seeing some snow from those storms. The Colorado Department of Transportation just reopened westbound I-70 not too long ago. The interstate was shut down early this morning as a major Colorado snowstorm was in full effect. A blizzard warning remains in effect through tonight. Meanwhile, Gary keeping a close eye. He's got some alert days that everybody wants to be aware of, especially those traveling, Gary.
Yeah, you know, this is a storm system that's going to affect a large portion of the central part of the country over the next day or so, and a second storm system will affect us toward the weekend. First things first, rain is starting to move into the Madison area. The first band of rain lifting north of town, but a wider radar perspective shows the next band to the south, and yes, there are some flashes of lightning with it, so be prepared for a possible thunderstorm. Snow on the northern edge here. Might start to see a mix in the far northern parts of our viewing area, but eventually that will change to rain for a time tonight before mixing with or changing to snow late tonight as colder air starts to move into that area. Farther to the south, though, it's warm enough that there could be the potential for severe weather. Marginal risk into northern Illinois and a slight risk farther south. In fact, from southern Missouri down into northern Louisiana, tornado watches are in effect right now. As we look at holiday travel across the nation as a whole, the center part of the country is where the worst weather is going to be, other than that storm system in the western portion of the U.S. This is mainly from snow from Nebraska into northern Wisconsin. You can see how that travels up into the UP of Michigan. And then tomorrow, it's strong winds. We could be looking at winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour over the flatlands of Iowa and Illinois. And that would affect air travel in and out of Chicago and perhaps Detroit, Cleveland, and Indianapolis as well. Then for Thanksgiving itself, things will be pretty quiet around here. The next weather system starts to gather strength to the west, and by Thursday night, we could even see some freezing drizzle around here. So we have alert days in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow. For tonight, mainly rain and a few thunderstorms. There could be some heavy downpours, maybe an inch or two of snow well north of the Dells toward morning. It'll be windy tonight, but very windy tomorrow with wind gusts of over 40 miles per hour at times, and the rain will eventually mix with snow before ending. In the far northern parts of our viewing area, that snow will wind down. You can see on future track, the rain moving through tonight. Our peak temperatures will probably be early tomorrow morning, and then those temperatures start to fall, but by that time, the bulk of the precipitation lifts to the north. So we're not looking at any snow accumulation across the majority of our viewing area, but those temperatures will continue to fall, and those strong northwesterly winds will bring in colder air. In fact, if you look at future track winds beginning early tomorrow morning, the winds around here in the 10 to 20 mile per hour range, but the strongest winds are just out to the west, and they start to rotate through as we head toward lunchtime with some wind gusts perhaps 50 miles per hour or greater through parts of Iowa and Illinois, but eventually those winds start to come down a little bit tomorrow evening, but they won't fully die down until late tomorrow night. Wind advisory from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning until 6 p.m. tomorrow evening for all of southern Wisconsin, with high wind warnings to the south across Iowa and Illinois. And of course, the accumulating snow mainly well north and west of Madison, a mix of rain and snow toward the end across far southern Wisconsin, but the heaviest snow of 6 inches or more from the southeastern portion of Minnesota through northwestern Wisconsin. Twin Cities could be affected with 6, 7, 8 inches of snow before all is said and done, along with strong winds. So there are winter storm warnings in effect for that entire area, and then the lake effect snows will start kicking in the UP of Michigan. Wind advisories again from southern Wisconsin, and high wind warnings to the south for wind. And then the next weather system affects us on Sunday, the tail end of it, bringing some light snow with some travel impacts from slippery roads and strong winds. Rain and snow on Friday, changes to mainly rain on Saturday, and then later Saturday night as the colder air starts to rotate in. Notice how it changes to a period of snow before it ends, and that could bring a couple of inches of snow along with windy conditions right at a peak travel time. So again, wind advisory 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow across all of southern Wisconsin. Tonight, rain, perhaps a few thunderstorms, low 38 this evening. Then temperatures actually rising into the low 40s in the far northern parts of our viewing area, a mix of rain and snow. Tomorrow, very windy. The rain will mix with and end as mix of rain and snow, high of 42, then falling temperatures. The rainfall amounts right now 1/4 to 1/2 inch unless you get caught underneath a heavier thunderstorm. Farther to the north, that'll all be in the form of snow and some heavy totals across central and northern Wisconsin. 7 to 10 day forecast. Again, that other alert day for Sunday for the tail end of the weekend storm. Next week actually looks pretty quiet. Everybody goes back to work. Temperatures low to mid 30s and very quiet conditions, maybe a few flurries on Tuesday. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, there's the Beltline at Park Street. Traffic moving very slowly in both directions. Roads are wet, although the batch of rain has moved farther to the north now. Seeing delays on the Beltline westbound from around Fish Hatchery Road all the way back to Stoughton Road. Eastbound, we're seeing delays from around West Broadway all the way back to almost Gammon Road. So right now we're seeing those travel times pretty high. In fact, right now a 37-minute commute on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 32 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 27 minutes to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward, 20 minutes now to Sauk City on US 12, and almost 25 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, some tips to prevent food contamination as you prepare your Thanksgiving meal.
President Trump took part in a presidential Thanksgiving tradition by granting a full and complete pardon to Butter the turkey.
The president also spared the life of Butter's companion, Bread, who was not in attendance. The White House reached out to the public via social media to ask which of these two turkeys should be pardoned at the ceremony and named the National Thanksgiving Turkey, and voters chose Butter. Now both Bread and Butter will live out their days at Gobbler's Rest at Virginia Tech, where last year's turkeys, peas and carrots, still reside.
A time-honored tradition for many families on Thanksgiving, of course, is cooking a turkey. But many don't realize that the bacteria found in many turkeys can contaminate your entire kitchen and expose your guests to foodborne illnesses.
Hillary Lane takes a look at the best practices for a safe and healthy Thanksgiving.
Howard Baker is on the hunt for the perfect sized turkey and knows food safety comes first.
Yeah, we take precautions in that because we do have grandchildren and we want to keep them healthy as well.
This Thanksgiving follows a 16-month Salmonella outbreak blamed on recalled turkey products. The outbreak ended in March, but serves as a warning for consumers.
Diarrhea, fever, chills. You can end up in the hospital, and you can even end up, unfortunately, dying from some of these.
Salmonella and Campylobacter are the two types of bacteria found in the guts of many turkeys. To protect yourself, food experts say wash your hands, but don't wash or rinse the bird.
Recent USDA research found that when individuals wash meat or poultry, they end up spreading germs in much greater levels all around the kitchen, including into food that they may be serving.
Health officials also suggest always using a meat thermometer. Pop-up thermometers that are included with most turkeys are not enough to make sure all the bacteria is cooked out.
So you really want to make sure you cook that turkey to a full 165 degrees throughout the bird. Because it's so large, it can cook unevenly. So you need to take that temperature in 3 places: the thickest part of the breast, the innermost part of the thigh, and the innermost part of the wing.
Experts also warn never partially cook a turkey and then transport it elsewhere to finish cooking. Never stuff a turkey the night before, and never thaw the bird on the counter. Thaw it in your fridge or in cold water. Simple steps to keep your family safe this Thanksgiving. Hillary Lane, CBS.
Susan, make sure you got all those notes. Another check your forecast when we return.
Snow to the north, wind and rain to the south.
Yeah, around here, temperatures right now are in the upper 30s. They're probably not going to fall very much more. So the rain could be mixed with a little snow well north of Madison, but then eventually change over to rain as the warmer weather moves in. Look at these wind gusts for tomorrow afternoon. Somewhere 40 to 50 miles per hour across southern Wisconsin. Wind advisory from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow for all of southern Wisconsin. Heaviest snow at least north and west of our viewing area, but if you're heading up toward the Twin Cities and northwestern Wisconsin, that whole area under winter storm warnings right now.
Susan, happy Thanksgiving. I know you're traveling tomorrow.
You.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
And to
Appreciate
everybody
it very
else.
much.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.